Hi guys, Aaron here, or Brickikiwi, or Slanesh Devotee. I'm playing Killazit, who's using my old favourite, Vha'shaelhur, and I'm trying out Nahumekh. I've got lots of fun with Nahumekh, but it's a Apoka version here. I've got the Guevesa Overseer, and unfortunately I still haven't quite sorted out the image problems that I'd been having, but I think I've got those sorted out since then. So the Overseer is the only Apoka card that really strikes my fancy for what I need for how I use Nahumekh, because it has two factions. I'm able to get twice the bonus out of the one card. I don't take a mulligan, Killazit does, so we're starting with Yvonne to put a unit into play, Osis to steal a resource, Farron to rout a unit, Iridial to heal a unit, and Aatrox Pine to deal with swarms, basically. So we can win by planet 3 for red and green, and planet 4 for red and green, and planet 5 for blue. Yeah, technically. So we'll see how we go. First off, Killazit puts in the signature support for Vha'shaelhur, the Tower of Worship, costs 2 resources, and allows you to put a cultist into play whenever you deploy a demon. I love that, it's really, really good. I start with my Saltec Complex, which costs me 1 resource. It's a limited card, so I can't put anything else limited, and as long as I put in a faction that I have not got a copy of, I'm able to get a resource or a card. He follows up with a signature unit, the Alluring Demonette. 3 cost, 1 command, 3 attack, 2 hit points, and you can sacrifice cultists to pull units around. So he gets his cultist from his Tower of Worship. Still spelt wrong in Octagon, but that's alright. Warasip. Okay, so I decide I'm not going to deploy a faction yet. I'm going to throw a few cheap units about the place. I decide to Void Pirate onto the first planet with the idea that basically I don't mind if it dies. It balances out the costs. It means he has to actually go to Planet 1 to invest in Planet 1 a bit to actually get something out of it. Killazit uses his 1 cost signature event, Demonic Incursion, which basically rally 6 a demon, if you're used to that language from the Apoka cards. Then I go with a Rogue Trader, which I put onto Farron, which is a terrible place to put it, because I am maxing out resources but not getting much else out of the deal. Balancing it with a card draw on planet would be a much better idea, but oh well. And he's got another Demonette. And he's going to use a cultist to reduce its cost by 1, and then he's going to generate another cultist. And that's what makes the Tower of Worship so good. You just cycle through cultists really, really easily. So it looks like I'm going to go with my Guevesa Overseer now, yep. And I'm going to use it on planet 2 to cancel the command on that planet. And then I use that to improve the hit points of the Void Pirate, so it can actually survive. And it also allows me to improve the attack of the other side of it, but oh, that's why I put the Rogue Trader there. So the Guevesa, no point in putting the Overseer out before you've got units on either side of him, because of his reaction. A unit on the left, on either adjacent planet, gets a bonus hit point, and then a different unit on the other planet gets a bonus attack. So there we go. It's an Astra Militarum faction as well, so it's able to be deployed with my Enslavement Dial on Astra Militarum, and I'm just checking that I haven't gone too far to get the Saltec Complex, which I wanted another card in case I drew another Imperial Guard, but I didn't. So at that point I will save my money, and if I go to planet 2 or 3 I will kill a Demonette instantly, or I can go to planet 5 and try and get as much command as possible. So it looks like I'm going for planet 5. Alright, we're all chosen, and I've got planet 5. He has got planet 2. I was actually kind of expecting him to go to planet 1, but that's fine. So I win planet 1, he wins planet 2, and we draw on planet 3, and then I win planet 5 as well. Alright, so he gets 2 resources, and I get 2 cards and 2 resources, which I'm pretty happy with. but he's likely to kill my Overseer, which is very, very tricky for me, because that reduces my 2 factions just instantly, which is a shame. Right, no command actions. We go to combat at planet 1. He is going to sacrifice the cultist to pull the Void Pirate over, which is fine. That means there's nothing on Yavin. I have no actions, neither does he, I assume. Just check we're all on the same page here. Yeah, he's got nothing. Okay, so Yavin vanishes to the ether. There we go, gone. Alright, so we're on to Osis. So we're looking into a longer game now. It's going for the Overseer. I've got 3 hit points. I've got no shields. Oh, I've got 1 shield. But if I... then Vha'shaelhur is still going to do a damage anyway, so there's no point in doing that. I just have to lose it. So I lose 2 factions at once, which is a drag, which is a shame. Okay. Did I? How have I got those stat increases the wrong way around? Oh, I should have made it attack so I could have attacked something. That's alright. I used the shield there to make sure I'm fine. Or did I think I had given a bonus attack? No. Alright, and then I retreat. Cool, so the Void Pirate's alive and is going to follow my Warlord around, but he is able to trigger Osis and take a point off me. And after all that, I will shoot his Warlord. So not the most thrilling. I actually didn't even need to shield the Void Pirate, really. I could have just taken the hit, kept the hate. I might have been able to do a use it, you know. Alright, so I'm going to change to Tau at this point. Or at least I believe I am. Yep. Change over to Tau. I've got a couple more Tau cards in here, so I might as well get them out. There we go. I'm first, so there we go. We'll throw out a Trailblazer down the line a bit where you can mobile to safer planets. And Killazit brings out the Medallion of Betrayal, a 1-cost, 2 shield loyal attachment, which is a Slaaneshi weapon. It gains +1 attack and +1 hit point, and double that if it's a cultist, which is interesting. And then you're able to generate cultists off it as well. I can't remember how it does that. I think it's got something to do with being discarded when it reaches the discard pile. Right, so I'm wondering about how I can slow down that unit. I decided to go for the Destroyer Cultists, and I've completely forgotten to use my Sautek Complex, which is a shame. I would have drawn another card probably, although I could have gone for a resource had I needed it. And, oh, really bad timing. I should have put out my Time-Worn Crypt, which is a 1-cost, limited 1-cost reducer. So it's basically cost neutral if I put it out on the same turn as a Necron unit. So I should have done that. So really poor use of my cards here. And then I put out the Overseer again onto Planet 2 to do some what are they going to get? They're going to get the hit points, keep them alive for as long as possible, and we're going to add an attack marker there. Right, so there are 2 factions out, which means +2 attack for the cultists, which is 3, +1 for the Overseer's effect. That makes 4. So he should be a 4/4, I believe, which is pretty nice. Yep, 4/4. And they gain +1 attack for each non-Necron faction. And I have 2 non-Necron factions in play. But I muddled up my crypt and I muddled up my Sautek complex, so not ideal. Okay. So we get on to commitment. I'd like to see for Nahumekh something like, I don't know, some events or attachments that are affected by the number of factions in play, or that benefit the number of factions in play. Maybe an event that put a unit into play for a cost, reduce the cost of a unit being put into play by the number of factions in play, or something like that. Gains command equal to, you know, like some sort of bonuses for the different number of factions in play. Route a unit with cost equal to or less than the number of factions you have in play, or number of non-Necron factions at least. There's some synergy between the army units that are non-loyal that Nahumekh can get access to, but not an awful lot. I haven't found many cards like between Eldar and Chaos that you're like, wow, I can put these together now. I'd like to see some more, you know, some more abilities like that. Alright, so I get 2 cards and 5 resources. Holy heck. And then I get to use my Nahumek's effect, reduce the hit points of an army unit at the planet with him by the number of non-Necron factions I have, so that's -2 hit points. And then I say, so it's dead, but he reminds me that the Medallion of Betrayal actually gives +1 hit point and +1 attack. So it's a 4 attack unit and 3 HP, down to 1 HP at the moment. And then of course he has an Archon's Terror, the absolute #1 best thing he could have had right at that moment. Oh, that hurt. That was frustrating. So I need to kill this guy off. So he's got 1 hit point left. I'm going to swing for 2, but he's got another of the Medallions of Betrayal, which allows him to generate a cultist and shield me for 2. That's very painful. He swings with his Demonette and he hits my Warlord for 4, and again I have no shields available anymore. So I just have to take a monstrous hit, and then yeah, that's all I can do really at that stage. Okay. Really what I should have been doing is not worrying about Planet 1. Planet 1, if he does win Planet 1, he still can't actually win until the very last planet of the game. So I should have completely ignored this and just gone digging for cards, because what I really, really need with my Nahumekh is I need that Staff of Command. So that's what I should have been focused on with my game plan. So we both stayed. I took another swing and he had another 2 shield card. He had this Slanesh's Temptation, which is 2 shields. He only had 3 cards in hand, and I was like, nah, that'll be fine. But apparently it wasn't. And then he hits me again for 4 again, and that means my Warlord is bloodied. And now, well, now the game's basically over, really, isn't it? There's not a lot I can do here. My Void Pirate is unable to do anything, so he ends up having to retreat. And all in all, completely ineffectual Planet 1. Bloodied my Warlord, didn't do anything, and he stole a resource off me. Just, yeah, really nasty. And then we're over onto Planum, where he is unopposed there, and he's going to move over to Planet 2, setting up a bit of a rolling theme, rolling thunder of demons here. Clears the Demonette, and that's the end of turn 2. I don't have the best options here. I've got the Ravenwing Escort, which is there to try and keep alive some of these units and move them around a bit. He does a Promise of Glory, get a couple more cultists out, and I have to decide, do I want to put in Space Marines, Chaos, Dark Eldar, another Tau, which is kind of not that thrilling right now. I decide to go for Chaos. Now I notice I've got a Time-Worn status crypt, but I'm not planning to put in Necron units at this turn, I don't think. So, Chaos right down the end where he's unlikely to want to take himself, hopefully. The Fanatics are a 2 cost, 2 command, 1 attack, 2 hit point, and I just want to check again. I completely missed the Sautek last turn, but I'm asking if I can use it this turn for the Chaos Fanatics, being a new faction that I haven't got in play yet. He says okay for that, which is kind, and I take a card. Probably should have done a resource. Well, no, I've got too many options in my hand, so I want to get some more options. He brings in the Seekers of Slaanesh, which are a 5-cost elite Slaanesh demon, and you may sacrifice a cultist unit at their planet to draw a card, I believe is what their ability is. Now I'm going in on Planet 1, which again, not really much point to going on Planet 1. He can't win till Planet 3 anyway with that, so I probably should have gone for Planet 3. Try and build up a longer game. I'm rushing the game here, which is generally a bad idea. I'm looking at Planet 3 myself, so that's good. With my Warlord. And he is going to Planet 4. Which I remember thinking, I wonder why he's going to Planet 4. That seems an odd place to go. 1 or 2 would have struck me as being better calls. But, of course, he's now got 4 cultists on the same planet as the Seekers. But I do get a fair amount of command out of that, which is nice. In fact, I get a huge amount of command. He gets 1 card and 1 resource. I get 5 cards and 4 resources, which is feeling pretty good. Feeling like I'm building up something. This is what I like about my Nahumekh deck. It does spread wide quite well and put quite a bit of a swarm out there. So he takes turn to destroy a cultist and get a card. Go to Planet 1, unless he wants to keep killing them. Yeah, no, nothing going on there. No actions, no actions. He gets to attack me first. And he goes for the Overseer. 3 hit points, 3 attack. No shields. This deck is really bad at defending itself. So, yep, just goes. Which automatically brings down the effectiveness of my destroyer cultists, which he then pulls over to Planet 2. He sacrificed another cultist to get another card, because why not? I can swing for 1 with this Rogue Trader. But he's going to get to attack me first next, which is really tricky, really difficult. Not sure. So I retreat. No point in staying. I'm just going to get killed by that demonette otherwise. And now he gets to route something. So, yeah, the last few planets have just been completely useless, really. No real use. He routes my Fanatics, which is going to limit where I can go with my Warlord next turn, because I want to keep those Fanatics alive somehow, out on last planets usually. He does another Cultist card, and this is where I began to go, wow, that's a lot of actions. Oh, yeah, and I also got confused because I've been playing Legend of the Five Rings. I thought, oh, they can only do that action once. And then he reminds me, no, in Conquest you can just keep going unless you exhaust or there's some other cost that needs to be played. So yeah, I was out of the habit of remembering that. Alright, so Aatrox. Gets rid of his last cultist. So he turned the cultists into cards instead of turning them into resources for cheapening his demons. I don't know. Could be worth it. I mean, he's doing quite well out of it. He's got quite a few cards and things. I decided to shoot the one on planet 1 to try and soften it up for next turn. I could have shot down at the weakened one in HQ. Might have been a better idea actually, but that's fine. And he uses Plenum to put that Demonet onto planet 2. He's getting that rolling, going really well. Alright, all done. I think he might be waiting on me to just say I'm done again. So I'm nearly through half the deck, and I haven't managed to find my staff yet, which is really frustrating. And I haven't devoted myself to digging for it properly. I think is my problem. I really should have. So set. Oh, wrong dial there. I should realise in a second. That's not right. That's wow. How come I can't tell? I must have been looking at the cards, not the actual. There we go. Going with orcs. Okay. I probably... see, I've already got Tau out. I didn't want to put out more Tau, but I really should have been trying to dig for that attachment. It's absolutely vital. Having one or two effects, maybe relics or attachments or unique supports or something that also change your faction tile, I think would also be quite a good thing for Nahumekh. Just like one more, you know. It doesn't need to be really effective, but just that little bit of extra faction changing can just really improve him beyond all measure. Alright, so chuck out a 1-cost orc. I might as well put it down there where it's actually kind of safe. He's not likely to go there. But I use it to draw a card and to draw another card. So good, I'm beginning to try and dig for the faction changing. Halfway through, haven't seen it yet. Obedience is pretty helpful. Brings out a 3rd Demonet. Oh, no, I changed my mind. Oh, yes, I finally realised that I should put out the Stasis Crypt, and this is a point that Killers It reminds me I just played a Saltec Complex. They're both limited, which is just... oh, it's just silly. Because I could have put it out, what, 2 turns ago? And I didn't. Just not looking at my hand. So, instead I put out a Destroyer Cultist. And I do take the resource back from the Stasis Script, because I didn't end up using that. I didn't actually deploy it, so I need to refund it. Planet 1, he doesn't need it to win, but I'm hopeful there. He puts Zaves onto Aatrox opposite a couple of my units, which is a bit dangerous. He can generate quite a few cultists there. Zaves is a 3-cost unique with 2 command, 2 attack, 3 hit points. But whenever an enemy unit is destroyed at this planet, you get a cultist in your HQ. It's quite a fun card. So I'm a little bit worried about what he has planned for that planet now. Throw another rogue trader down to the end. I'm hoping he won't be able to equalize the command there, which is nice. And then a void pirate. So I'm winning command there, which I think is very nice. But I have limited options of what I can do with where I can go with my warlord, because I'm bloodied, and all of these options are not looking so great for me. I do have chaos, Tau, and orcs. I've got -3 for well, if my warlord was Hail, I would have -3 hit points on anything across from me. So, you know, going to planet 2, I could kill Zaves just instantly. I could even quite severely damage the Seekers, which I believe are 2 command, 5 attack, 4 hit points, or 4 attack, 5 hit points. I decided to go for Planet 2, which is where Zarvez is, which is possibly not a good idea. But I do get some command out of the deal. There it is, I've got my staff, I finally found it. That's what I was looking for all that time. And I've got a Doomsday Arc, which is also very nice. So if I can get down 2 other factions, I've got Dark Eldar, I've got Space Marines, so that would give me 2 other factions. I would have a total of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 factions, so my Doomsday Arc would be area effect 5, and if obviously my Warlord was Hail, it would have been negative 5 hit points. It all would have been very, very, very useful. But I had to get through 3/5 of my deck before I found it, which is the danger there, having that literally 1 card that you need. Oh, it hurts, it's rough. I should have used the, I haven't used the mobile Tau command unit that I completely can't remember, Vha'shaelhur Trailblazer. I haven't mobiled him at all this game, although the 2 command has been really useful, but I should have put out the Earthcast Technician instead of him earlier, because that would have dug me 6 cards faster. I would have had the command staff of command 2 turns earlier, potentially. It would have been just that would have been huge. Alright, so he pulled a cultist over, I believe, from Planet 2 to Planet 1. I wasn't really paying attention, but it looks like he possibly did. So, I killed a Demonette, and then the medallion goes to the discard pile, which triggers the effect of creating a cultist. I think it's as long as you have no cultists. So you had to use up the cultist first and then be able to get that effect from the medallion, which is still pretty good. It's quite reasonable. But I managed to capture a planet, hooray! Although I have nothing that's wounded. Oh. And then we go over to Planet 2, where things are going to get a bit rough. I'm going to have to get out of there as soon as I can with my Warlord. He's got no actions, so I'm presuming I'm going to retreat straight away, because this is just dangerous. Yep, there we go. Get out of there. Get out of there. So the Alluring Demonette kills off the Void Pirate, which gives him a cultist. Yep, target Zarvez, he gets himself a cultist, there we go. And then, if he goes after the Rogue Trader with his Warlord, yep, there we go, Vha'shaelhur does a point of damage, which kills the Rogue Trader, so he gets a cultist from Vha'shaelhur, and then he gets a cultist from Zarvez. Really solid, lots of cultists there, really good effects. And then he's going to pull over the Chaos Fanatics, which I was quite surprised by. I thought, what on earth, he's already won. And then of course he's done that, so he can then hit them, which he does, and he manages to kill them, and that triggers Zarvez as well. So effectively cost neutral, but it killed off another unit of mine, especially useful against me when I need every one of the factions that I can. So really solid work there. And then I think we're done. I think we're on to the next round. Round 5. Yep, turn 5. And what am I going to do with these? This still doesn't give him a win condition. In fact, if he wins this planet, he still can't win until the very last planet. So really I should just focus on preparing for the very last planet battle. If I'd have put my Doomsday Arc on the last planet and just kept making sure I had as many factions as possible out, then anything he tried to put onto that last planet I could be wiping out with my Doomsday Arc, and just throw on the the Satan Shard, the Shard of the Nightbringer. It's not the Nightbringer, Shard of the Trickster? What's his name? Shard of the Deceiver. Onto the last planet on the last battle, and just tried to use it then as a just keep him off. That would have probably been a wiser way of playing this out, but it's not what I do. So I put an Imperial Guard down on that last planet, and he does get the bonus hit points because it's a green planet, which is nice. And I take 2 more resources because I've got no other Imperial Guard in play at the moment. Now, I don't need to draw cards anymore, so it's just resources coming out of the Sautek complexes, paying for the things that I can put in as much as possible. And he throws in an Ancient Keeper of Secrets, using up a bunch of his cultists and an STC fragment that he just put into play. So the Keeper of Secrets is pretty darn good. It's a 7 cost. It's not actually, like, the value isn't really there, but if you've got so many cultists as this guy does, it's probably worthwhile. So the Keeper is 7 cost, 3 command, which is that extra 1 command over, a lot of good command units have 2, so it's quite good in that sense. It's 5 attack and 5 hit points, which is not very good for a 7 cost elite, but it has the ability to ready by sacrificing a cultist unit. So it can hit for 5 and 5 and 5 and 5, which can be really, really good. So he puts in another demonette. That's his last demonette, and he's got them on planet 2, which is right where I don't want them to be, which is quite frustrating. Oh, yeah, I worried that I'd played the Eldar and then not used the Sautek, but then I realised I hadn't actually played it. So I'm okay. Yeah, because I thought I'd completely stuffed up again, but I hadn't completely stuffed up. I had kind of stuffed up, but I hadn't completely stuffed up. So there we go, put in the Eldar, and the Sautek lets me get 2 resources, because I have no Eldar in play. So that's, once I get, especially with the Staff of Command, once I get a pretty good line of my cheap factions turning up, I actually get a lot of cards and resources out of it. If I can get my Sautek into play, they're a really great way to keep digging for my Staff of Command if I need them. It can work out really, really well. Now, if I'd have put that guy onto planet 3, would have been much better, but no, I'm going, ha ha ha, I'm going to get planet 1, which I'm really not. I've got 1, 2, 3, 4 factions, so his area effect 4, which is pretty solid, is pretty effective, but the Keeper of Secrets is going to kill him. I have nothing to keep him alive. So I go to planet 1. He's gone to planet 3, which is dangerous for all of my things there. Win a little bit of command. Yeah, I should have taken everything to planet 3. Would have been a much better idea. I use obedience to keep something alive. I decide to take the Imperial Guard, which is a foolish idea because I have other Imperial Guard I could deploy to replace him. I should have taken the Orcs or the Eldar because I don't have my other Orcs or Eldar cards to keep alive. I move the Trailblazers to planet 2, where they're going to stay alive for at least 1 more turn. And then we get into battle. Right, so I have initiative, I have the Warlord, let's see what I can do. He immediately takes a cultist and removes the Doomsday Ark. Which, of course he does. Why wouldn't he do that? And now my Doomsday Ark isn't set up to be on planet 3 where it really needs to be. Terrible choice. Terrible commitment this turn. But hey, hindsight's 2020, isn't it? I do like using Nahumekh this layout. I feel like if it begins to roll, you know, the problem was it took like 3 turns to get going this game, and I keep doing the wrong things with it. But if it's rolling, it can just, you know, when you've got negative 5 hit points on something because your warlord turned up, when you've got area effect 5 smashing everything on the planet, when you can throw in the Shard of the Deceiver, and as you can see, I've got a hand of 12 cards here, and I could have been picking Celtic, I could have been drawing cards if I'd wanted to fuel the Deceiver. I've only got 8 in the discard pile, but he would throw in at least 2 or 3 more before the combat phase. So, you know, I'd be up to 12, 13, and then if they kill anything else on the planet, that makes things worse as well. And if they focus on the Shard, well, then everything else is alive and smacking you. I feel like it's fun. I think like it's a lot of good fun. I mean, I can even, if I'd wanted, put things that I had, like, you know, I've got Tower that are safe. I could have been throwing Earthcast Technicians onto the first planets, you know, to fuel that discard pile and make the Deceiver even stronger, potentially. But I get nowhere. He slaughters me. And then he starts picking me away. I do manage to kill the Incubus Warrior, which is nice. But then he does area effect 1, kills all of those. Well, at least the Deceiver's getting stronger. And that gives him another cultist. Oh my goodness. Okay, random discard, I hit a Slith, which is fine. I'm just getting seriously hammered here. And then again, I'm not realizing that the next planet isn't even a win condition. He doesn't have 2 green already. He doesn't have 2 blue already. It's not a win condition, and yet I'm about to act like it is. I'm just rushing this whole game really, really badly. Okay, go for Chaos, and I've got a Hate, so I could kill something with Hate, which would be kind of nice. Yep, there we go. Nope, yep, there we are. And I'll take 2 resources back for that. It's got another Incubus Warrior, which he'll put it, yeah, just like before. Alright. Shard of the Deceiver, which I've deployed too soon. I could have done Hate on... I could have done a Slith and got an extra resource out of the deal. Then I could have done Hate on a Demonette. Or even... Oh no, because... Yeah, I could have gone to Dark Eldar, done a Slith, and then done Hate on the Incubus Warrior, actually. And then put out the Shard. He's putting in something big. Another Keeper of Secrets. It's a very Slaanesh-y build he's got going on here. He's using lots of Slaanesh themed cards, Slaanesh traded cards. But I don't know, it's not my fully as far pushed as it can go elite Vha'shaelhur style. It's a little bit more cultist focused, trying to get more cultist effects. And I mean, obviously, it is working really well for him, but I don't know, it seems it's not what I would want to do, you know? I want to do big nasty demons everywhere. So I decided to go simple, just take out the Splinter Path Acolyte, reduce the number of cultists he has access to. Okay, there was a quick jump there, he just had to BRB for a second, be right back. So I think we're about to wrap this up there, I don't think we've got long to go. Again, because I'm trying to rush it. No need to be fighting for this planet, and yet I'm doing it. I mean, I suppose from the point of view of trying to reduce the amount of enemies that I have to deal with, potentially it's worth fighting there, but realistically I just don't think so. Extermination on Planet 1 would have been pretty good at this stage. Oh, no, he's got elites there, they wouldn't have done it. Yep. 2 for the Celtic, don't bother triggering the Earthcast. And then going on to the next round, I have to discard a card. Into the command phase, I mean. So 7 cost to command XX, the Shard of the Deceiver. X is equal to the number of cards in the discard pile. However, as a reaction to a phase beginning or a combat round beginning at the planet, you must discard a card. So while the shard is not at a planet, no worries. If it's at a planet with no battle, not a big deal. But otherwise you can deck yourself quite nicely. Right. So he's set himself on the win condition planet because he's no fool. Let me get a little command out of that. Nothing particularly impressive. Okay, and then I need to discard again. And he Archon's Terrors. I probably actually should have discarded before that. Yep, so I discard to make sure we're ready. And then he Archon's Terrors the Shard. It's off the planet. Because the Archon's Terror can't be done until a combat phase. So I had to discard to get there. For us to get to the combat phase. Okay. I do get to go first with my 1, 2, 3. Oh, but Demonettes pull that off the planet. So I don't get to do Area Effect 3, which really wouldn't have been that impressive at this stage either. My other Doomsday Arc, I have 1 or 2 others, and they're clearly sitting in that bottom 15 cards, which is frustrating. Well, I absolutely should have discarded the Time Worn Stasis Crypt. So the Shard of the Deceiver gives me a way to discard redundant cards like that, the uniques and limiteds that I can't play again, so I really should have done that. The Shrine Guards take his swing and he shields it, and then he hits back for 5 on my Warlord, which is actually enough to kill him. And there we go, that is it. Still, I'm going to keep playing Nahumekh. I do enjoy using him. I hope you enjoyed watching me use him, and I hope you're still experimenting. I'll catch you next time. See you later.